Hey, how's it going, guys? How's it going? And welcome back to a brand new series which we're going to be kicking off on the channel. And today is going to be a Showdown battle series, and we're going to be in a league with a number of other teams and other competitors, and we're going to go for victory. Now, if you've not seen a league style format before, each week we fight a different team in the league. I will put the league names in the description and their coaches, so make sure you go and check those out if you want to keep up to date and see who is battling who. But I'm going to give my draft and my thoughts upon my Pokemon that I have picked. And I did get a lot of snipes. I did get a lot of my Pokemon taken, so I've had to fall back on a few alternatives that I didn't think I would have to fall back on. So, anyways, we'll go through the, I think it's 14 Pokemon that we picked. It was 3 from each tier, and then it was 1 from Little Cup, 1 from NFE, which I do believe is not fully evolved. I could be wrong. But yes, so I'll go down the list of the ones which I have picked. So my first OU pick was Tapu Koko. I'd never really dealt with Tapu Koko before. So I'm very happy to have picked this up. I was one of the first people to draft. So I'm very happy to scoop up Tapu Koko and be able to put this fast, speedy legend into battle. We're going to be messing around, see what we can do, get a few plays running, and we're just going to have a lot of fun with this one. Tapu Koko, first pick. Next, we've got our Mega, which is going to be Mega Heracross. I managed to scoop this up second. Mega Heracross has been one I've overlooked. I think in the last league I had Mega Pinsir. So I thought, why not go for its counterpart and go for Mega Heracross? With that skill link ability, it's going to be amazing. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. So with things like Bullet Seed, maybe. Things that do a multiple damage, you're going to guarantee a 5 hit every single time. It's got a great attack stat, so we can play around that as well. Its defense is kind of suck. It's a bit similar to how Pinsir was run in the previous season. If you do want to go back and check that season out, by the way, it is linked on the channel page. It wasn't uploaded to this channel, but it is on the channel page for you to check out in the LP's completed list. But Mega Heracross, going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to have to think of some nicknames maybe for some of these as well. But that is our second and one of our better picks, I'm going to say. Third pick from OU was Infernape. Now, I've got my list of things I was aiming for. I did want Skarmory as a a hazard setter. And a Defogger. Really good pick. Or a Moongus. Now, I was hesitant with a Moongus, but I got some better picks later on, which made me think a Moongus maybe not so. But Skarmory and Amoonguss were the other two from OU that I did want to go for after seeing what other people had picked. And Infernape is really good. His stats are pretty well up there. He's got some priority with Mach Punch. It's got the elemental punches for type coverage. I think he's definitely got Thunder Punch. And obviously maybe Fire Punch I think he can get. Not too sure about Ice Punch, but definitely Thunder Punch is going to be very helpful. We've got things like Close Combat, Flare Blitz. We've got a good range of speed on him as well. He's quite speedy, so we will be able to deal a lot of damage in and out type of style. Our first pick from UU was Crocodile. Now, if you've seen the first season, you know how much I love that Pokemon. And I've got it again. Going to be running it this season too, and we're just going to have a lot of fun with it. If you did see what happened in the first season, it did take lives, so hopefully we're going to repeat that this season, and Crocodile is going to be our main life taker. It's got some decent stats, a Ground Dark ability stats, type, sorry, and we're just going to see what we can do with this physical offensive one. Again, it's going to be similar to Infernape, the in and out type style. Maybe get some Moxie boosts if I run Moxie at some point. He's also got abilities of Intimidate, and he's also got Anger Point as well, which is another cool one to run if the time comes. Our second UU was Roserade. I've not used a Rose Raid in any leagues at the moment. I have used it back when I did a Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battle series. I remember using Rose Raid. It did quite well for me, actually. Having that poison resistance for toxic spikes was really helpful. And it's got natural cure as one of its abilities, so it's, you know, it removes its ailments upon switch out. And it's got generally a good special attack stat as well. So we're going to rock with that. Rose Raid is our second pick. Third pick, I managed to snag Cresselia. I was looking at Mimikyu, Milotic, and Gengar from this tier as well. I managed to work out a few of the other things. Mimikyu got snagged from me turn 1. As we are the Manchester Mimikyus. That is the team name we're going to be rocking this season. And I was going to try and pick him up. He could have been him and Gengar especially for rapid spin blockers. But we didn't manage to scoop up any of them. We scooped up Cresselia, our third choice. Again, it's got a really good move coverage. We'll be able to rock around with things. It's Luna something? Luna Dance, I think it's called. We've got some good moves like that. It's quite defensive as well, which we don't really have any defensive mons in our first 6 picks. So I thought I'm going to have to pick up a defensive mon here. Cresselia is going to be it. And hopefully we can use it as some kind of wall that we can sit behind, maybe get some toxic. We can do some toxic stalling, something along those lines. Let's move on into the next tier, which is going to be RU. And a few mix I was going for in this tier was Blastoise, Jolteon, Flygon, or Cofagrigus. They were the ones that I was thinking about picking up. First one I picked up was Shuckle. Now, Shuckle, he is the best defensive wall pretty much in the game. I think he's got base 230 defenses. So, as you can see, just on his stats there, it does show he's got a very, very high attack stat. Defense and special defense stat, sorry. So, hopefully we'll be able to set some stuff up. We can set up rocks, sticky webs. It's got infestation. It's basically going to be there to be annoying and be a wall for our team. Water moves, yeah, they're going to hurt, but depending what they use, we can sort of cater using his defensive stats to our advantage. Next we got from RU, is the Talonflame. Fire, flying, flame body ability. It's got a very quick speed, so we went for speed with this pick. Its attack spat is kind of okay. We're thinking like Brave Bird. We've got Flare Blitz. It can got Roost for restoration. We've got what else have we got? It's just an all-round good mon, and I've not really had a chance to use a Talonflame much at all. So I thought for this league I'm going to pick up Talonflame. It's going to be able to assist in a lot of fights, those close-knit fights where we need a speedy one-hit finish. So hopefully this mon is going to do that for us. Third up you pick was Ambipom. Now he wasn't the priority on this list. I was thinking of picking up some different Pokemon, but Ambipom is a good... it's got Technician, so things like Fake Out, priority type moves like that are going to do quite a great amount of damage for what it's worth. And this is just going to be like a pivot type mon. I think it gets Baton Pass, so we might be able to use it as a pivot between different mons. And I know with Baton Pass you can't transfer any of these like the stat boosting. I think there's a rule on something with Baton Pass, so maybe we can use it as a pivot. I'm not sure, but we'll look into that. But this mon is pretty much going to be a pivot for our team. We're going to be able to swap around in and out, and going to get that Fake Out as much as we can off on the enemy team. Moving on to NU, we picked up Credilli. Now, I did want Gastrodon. Gastrodon, Credilli, they do pretty much the same job. Gastrodon just hits a bit harder. As you know, I did love my Gastrodon from Season 1 of the Pokemon Fight Club that we did. And we're bringing Credilli this time because Gastrodon got snagged on me. I was thinking it was like last pick for NU and, well, one of the last picks. And Credilli was still available, so I picked up Credilli. It's got the ability Storm Drain, which we can play around with. It's got some decent stats. I know it can get Recover, so we've got some Restoration. I know it can learn Toxic, and we've also got things like Rocks we can set up. So it's going to be one of those mons. It's going to be kind of a support type mon. I mean, I can set it up differently, and I can have it as a physical attacker with some defensive walls around it. But I think for the most part, it's going to be kind of a supportive mon with something that you can hit back with. So if the Storm Drain does trigger, we can hit back with an even powerful attack. I did pick up Cryogonal as well from NU, purely because I needed a Rapid Spinner, and I didn't have any Ice type resistances. I didn't have any Steel types, and I didn't have an Ice type so far. So we've got Cryogonal here. He's going to be a Rapid Spinner, he's going to be annoying, and he's going to be a resistance to Ice type moves for us, because I know Ice is going to be a major thing for our team. Things such as Mega Heracross doesn't take Ice too well. We've got Roserade, Crocodile, Talonflame. I know it's neutral, but it still does that enough damage to knock us down a peg or two. So any Ice types ain't going to be a problem for Cryogonal over here. And his special defense is quite high, so he will be able to take an Ice Beam or 3. So, and moving on to our last pick from NU. Now, there was a thing in I know he comes under PU, Dusclops. And he was supposed to come under the NFE. Now, there wasn't much left in NU that I wanted to scoop up. So I decided to take Dusclops as my NU pick. Dusclops, we're going to slap on an Eviolite of some kind. And then we're going to run something like Will-O-Wisp so we can burn them. And we've got Pain Split that we can rock with. Got a lot of things that we can rock with in this Pokemon. I won't spoil too much, but I've got a few plans for this Dusclops in a few of the matches that we have got up. Now we have got NFE and we've also got Little Cup. Starting out with Little Cup here, we've picked up Munchlax. Now he's got a very, very high HP stat. And his special defense isn't too far behind. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to actually use Munchlax. I don't know. Maybe there's going to be a week where Munchlax might come in really, really handy. I don't know. But it was a little bit of fun, so we did end up doing an NFE and Little Cup tier just for the fun of it. Normally only pick 12 mons, but a little bit of fun, spice up the roster a little bit. So we've picked up Munchlax. Whether we use him, I don't know. We'll see what the weeks come by. My NFE pick is Magmar. Now, Magmar is a really cool mon. I've used an Eviolite Magmar in competitive before, as well as an Eviolite Electabuzz, actually. And both of them work really, really well. So I'm very excited about bringing this back. Maybe we can run it in the competition. Just depends what weeks, who we're fighting, what types of mons they have. We're going to have to work around that in some way, shape, or form. But that is my team roster, my thoughts and opinions on the first Pokemon that we have picked. Now, my first battle is going to be up against the Seattle Cyndaquils. I'm going to be taking down a fellow Cyndaquil lover, which is going to hurt my soul dearly. But we need to win. We need to get to the finals and playoffs. So, week 1 is Manchester Mimikyus versus the Seattle Cyndaquils. So make sure you get hyped for that, and that should be coming out in the next day or so. So make sure you stay tuned, and I will see you guys in a day or two for that first match. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys all next time.